seen is actually 4 movies because then this was part of why I didn't have rapid fires because I just didn't have time. Um, I watched all 4 Hotel Transylvanias,
Watched all of
which
the Hotel Transylvanias.
brings all of the monster movie universe characters together in like a parody of them.
Yeah.
Um, it's for me, I like those movies, but it's a sliding progression. It starts off strong and just kind of goes down from there. Um,
I've seen the fourth one. I'm completely aware I've seen the fourth one. I could not tell you apart from the thing where I'm sure we're
the
gonna talk
ge-
about.
the general premise of it.
Yeah, I know it was on Amazon Prime. I know I watched it, and I know it was bad. So that I remember.
Um, so one thing that I will say about the Hotel Transylvania movies, which I didn't realize until I just watched this Invisible Man movie. So in the Hotel Transylvania movies, the Invisible Man is called Griffin, which was the name of the character in this
Yeah,
Invisible Man movie.
yeah.
So it's like I didn't really think that that was because I mean considering like in Hotel Transylvania the mummy is called Murray, and it's like what's his real name? Like Amun Cap Tap
Uh, e-
Maradada
Emotep.
Bing Bong
Emotep.
Emotep,
Emotep.
which doesn't sound anything like Murray.
I mean, I guess they get it from Mo Murray. I guess
Or the Wolf Man is Wayne.
that I don't know. I don't know the. Yeah, I'm sure maybe that's a reference to the original Wolfman character.
Maybe that's his actual name.
I
I don't
don't.
know. Frank and Frankenstein makes sense. Like
Yeah.
that's logical. They call Dracula Drac. Like that all checks out. So it's just like I don't know. I didn't really think that the actual character's name would be Griffin.
Right.
So the fact that it is just kind of
Well,
I'm
my
like,
favorite
oh,
is
that's a nice touch that I now retroactively respect about these
the
movies.
one that made me laugh that you probably now get is Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a Dracula.
he's a
He's
Dracula.
Dracula's main villain.
Yeah, he's a Dracula character.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So him being in the third one and fourth one is like, oh, okay, that's kind of a cool touch. Like there's a lot of in these 4 movies, um, and show which I didn't watch. There's a lot of fun little nods, like how Frankenstein has his bride, which I now know, Bride of Frankenstein.
Yep. Yep.
Like
Yeah.
that checks out.
Yep.
Um, that being said, I can't talk about these movies and not talk about how the fourth one has just a significant and noticeable drop in animation
Which really
quality.
said.
Drag? Look at you, now look at me. Oh, no, it can't be.
Says something considering these movies weren't exactly like the high end of animated quality.
No, but that it oh, oof,
Yeah, no,
oof,
there's a discernible.
oof.
I
There's
mean,
a noticeable and discernible difference between going from the third one to the fourth one.
which like it's usually because you're paying you take they take a different quality because the budget's reduced, but they still have to pay the celebrity voice cast. That's usually why. Like if you see a movie that has like a crap ton of celebrity voice cast in it, it's so cheap looking because half the budget goes to the celebrity voice cast. But
Oh
like
yeah.
that one doesn't have Adam Sandler in it, which is my like my case for what I'm like. You can recast any character and no one will notice because no one noticed
It
that they recast Adam
it
Sandler in that
doesn't
movie.
it doesn't have Adam Sandler, it doesn't have Kevin James, it doesn't have Sadie Sandler playing Winnie. There's a few characters
Anyone
that got
connected to Adam Sandler by the sounds of it.
uh I mean, like I said, a number of
That
characters.
still to this day, that bothers me. That's still one of the most scummy things I've ever seen anyone do. I felt so bad because he was so proud of it, and they wanted to bury it. Like they did not want people to know that he wasn't in that movie. They wanted people to know he was in that movie because he's been playing Dracula for a while. Like Adam Sandler hasn't played Dracula since the third movie, and there's been
He he played Brian Holt plays Dracula in the short film Monster Pets.
yep.
He played him in the Hotel Transylvania Scary Tea Adventures game, and in the fourth movie.
Yeah, he's a voice match. So
Yeah,
there must be something where it's like they're not allowed to say that that they've just voice matched him or something, or it must be a union thing where he's
I'm
just not
guessing
on
it.
the
I'm
same
guessing.
level as Andy Samberg and Selena Gomez. Like he's just not
Oh yeah.
anywhere
Oh,
near
I mean,
them.
yeah, he would be far lower.
But
Like far lower.
but like he's playing the lead character. Like he's in the movie the most, and he's like bottom. He's bottom of the cast list. It's kind of
I
wild.
would say he's in the movie as much as Adam Sandberg for sure,
Yeah,
considering like
as much
they
as
they
that.
share
Like if it
they
was like
share screen time.
yeah, like it's like he's like the pretty much the main character of that movie. If it was a thing of like Mavis took, it's so weird. If you couldn't get that, tells me that Adam Sandler must have left at a
Well, what's
late
weird?
point in the production process because
No, I don't think so. Considering the point of the third one is that Dracula retired. He
sure.
retired from the cat. Like if you were gonna make a fourth one, quite frankly, if you weren't getting Adam Sandler back, his character retired in the third
Well,
one.
that's
You
what I'm
didn't
saying.
need to bring back the character at all.
What I'm saying is well, I'm guessing Adam Sandler must have left because early on because yeah, you're right. If he wasn't in this, why is the character in this? Other than he's I guess the main one, but yeah, you could like if Adam Sandler wasn't gonna come back like right away, like you knew immediately he wasn't gonna come back, you would have written the story more Mavis and Andy Samberg forward. I can't remember his character. Johnny and
And
Mavis forward. You would have, or you would have
and
aged up the son and have him be a teenager.
and that's not even talking about. And this is a thing that frustrates me, irritates me about this. It's the thing that it's the pardon the expression. It's the nail in the coffin for me for this movie. Is okay. Voice matching, like voices are changed, and that bothers me. Animation is bad, and that drives me crazy. Dracula has learned the lesson of the movie in
I know,
three other movies.
I
Like
know.
like
It's the
he
same movie for
he
a fourth
accepted
time.
he accepted humans in the third. By the third one, he had already accepted humans,
Yeah,
and then for some reason he doesn't like
he's got a beef with Johnny again, which he's
Johnny
already gotten
again.
over 2 movies ago.
Like I don't why like no like if anything this should have been like a time jump to where like now the Denisovich is like a preteen or whatever,
Yeah,
and Mavis and him are now the adults, and he starts dating like some girl or
yeah.
whatever, and or some other, maybe they have another kid or something, or like some other conflict. Dracula did not need to be in,
Well, that's,
other than like as a tertiary background
well, that's what I'm
character.
saying. Is that's why I think Adam Sandler was involved. I think he was cast up into the point where maybe they were animating it. He was involved because otherwise, yeah, if you're just gonna voice match him, move him into the background where people won't notice unless they knew pretty immediately it wasn't. I thought it was supposed to go to theaters, but maybe it wasn't, and it was always going to go to streaming, and they knew they could get
I
away with it.
I I suspect it was always going to streaming, just judging by
I
the
could have
quality of it.
sworn that it sat in it sat around for a while because it was supposed to go to theaters, and then COVID happened.
I could believe that
This is a
like
COVID
the
victim, that I know
first
for sure.
I could believe that the first interpretation of the script, they had like a script in the back or whatever, that maybe when it was first written it was meant to be in theaters, but then by the time they got to it, no, I think like while it was being made, it was always going on streaming, just judging by the quality.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive from what I remember, because I remember it was a big deal that Amazon bought it because Amazon bought it for a shit ton of money, like a lot of money. Like they bought it
Let's
for a lot of money.
let's read a little bit about the production. 2019, Sony Pictures has announced that a fourth film had been in development. Uh, oh, that might be another reason why it's different. I think it has a different director.
Oh, that makes sense.
Jendi Tarkovsky in October 2019 confirmed that he would not direct the film.
They've
Then in
they've
2020,
never said
storyboard.
or acknowledged why Adam Sandler left.
Apparently, Tarkovsky wrote the screenplay.
That explains why Dracula's in it so much.
Uh, Production took place during COVID. Uh, Doesn't really say whether it was meant to go to theater or not.
I just remember that Amazon. I'm pretty sure it was Amazon. I remember Amazon buying it was like there was a huge announcement for it. Like it was a big thing because that was like during like peak COVID. That was when
Here it is. Here it is. In August 2021, Sony Pictures canceled the film's theatrical plans and entered discussions to sell the distribution rights to a streaming service in response to the rising cases of the SARS-CoV-2 Delta
yeah.
variant in the United States.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly what I remember.
Apparently, it had a limited theatrical release on February 25th, 2022.
Oh.
On March 7th, 2022, it was announced that the film would have a theatrical release in China beginning April 3rd of that year.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah.
Fun little bit of trivia there for you.
But it's bad. It's a bad movie. It's not a good movie.
Another funny thing about in Hotel Transylvania 4, this is one of the few things that now makes me laugh. When the Wolfman, Frankenstein, Invisible Man, and Mummy get turned into their respective human forms, as the Invisible Man is turning back, or is becoming visible, you find out that the entire time throughout all the movies he's been walking around naked.
Yeah.
Which fun fact is a reference back to the original, like
Oh yeah.
to the Invisible Man,
The
where it's
clothes
like,
don't
yeah,
turn
no,
invisible.
the clothes don't turn invisible, which I was like, it's funny that they actually acknowledge that.
Yeah.
And so then at the end of the movie, once he's invisible again, he starts taking the clothes off, and I think it's the Wolf Man. He's like, nah. Like you keep those clothes on. You being invisible isn't an excuse to be able to walk around naked. Which I'm like, that's funny. That's a funny joke.
That is
But
funny.
that's all I really have to say about these movies. They're fun. They're cute. I mean,
They're all right until the last one.
they're yeah, pretty much. And they're a fun parody of like those old Universal monster movies.
So did I guess for you it'd be retroactive because you watched Dracula afterwards. But when you were watching Dracula, was there moments of like, oh, so that's what that's
Certain things like the outfit and the stiffness in which he moved, because like with Dracula, I mean they kind of, as the movies go on, they step away from it, but it's like he's very like stiff and
yeah.
like you know like where he moves around, he's like da 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 da. So it's like kind of certain elements I kind of see,
Mhm.
but I mean these characters are basically like what if the monsters were good.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the complete antithesis of what these characters are, which
I
is the
mean,
point. Which is the point.
not so much Frankenstein's monster per se.
Is he a good guy?
By the end of it, it's no, not really.
Uh, no. Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I'm talking. I certainly like the
I
werewolf,
suppose
which is
it
just a dad,
depends on the version of
and
him, I suppose.
and the mummy, which is just a nice dude,
Yeah, he's
or
just a decent guy.
or Frankenstein, who, I mean, they haven't drank human blood in years, Justin. They do animal blood now.
But I mean, to be fair, didn't that movie make the case that they used to be and that they've just gotten old now and they're like middle aged?
The point is that
We used to be that way, and then we
when
got
they were
old.
younger, they were like that. But it's like we haven't done that in a while. We're civilized now.
We're a civilized bunch.
Pretty much since Dracula made the. I believe the what Frankenstein says in the second one is we don't need to do that anymore, because like this is a world where like the monsters have come out, especially like by the second one, the monsters have come out and are just part of society and people just accept them.
Right? Yeah. Right, because that's part of the
Um,
second one is they have to go to the suburbs or whatever to like meet his
yeah,
parents.
and like his parents have monsters that live in the neighborhood and stuff, and so like by the second one, humans have largely just accepted that like the monsters and are okay with it,
Yeah.
which is probably the most unrealistic. Forget that Frankenstein and Dracula and all of them are in this movie. The
Yeah.
most unrealistic part of the movie is that humans accepted them.
Right. My thing with these movies and like any movie with like long running franchises with child characters, you said yeah the fourth one should have been about Denisovich or whatever. He's a teenager now. I think that would have been way more.
Dennis, yeah.
Dennis, he's a teenager. I think you're right. That would be interesting. Like he's a teenager. He's lived at Hotel Transylvania his whole life, and he wants to leave now. Like he's like I want to go leave or whatever. And now it's come back around. Like for me, like Despicable Me 4 became decidedly less interesting when I saw that the girls were still kids. I'm like, it's not. I kind of had that realization about South Park where I was like, I kind of wish these animated shows had let the kids grow up organically on them. And then it's like, yeah, because there's got to be a point where you get because there's a lot of episodes of The Simpsons where it's like Bart has like a teenage 16-year-old girlfriend where it's like this makes me uncomfy and it feels like they want Bart to be a teenager. So it's like just let these characters age organically and just like hang out in the area of being a teenager because you can tell with South Park in particular that they're getting bored of writing stories for 8-year-olds. Like they want to be able to write stories about teenagers. So it's like then to do it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, when you've been doing like 30 seasons or whatever, or even 20 seasons of a show, yeah, eventually it's gonna stagnate and you're gonna get bored. You're creatively, how many times can you do the same stories over and over again, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to break out of it, and yeah, that I mean, if it, with South Park, like that's what you have all these specials. Okay, use those to do like one of them is like about the teenage kids, one of them is about the
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Use those as an excuse if you have to break out of these the mold that you've been
Oh,
stuck in.
speaking of South
Simpsons,
Park.
Simpsons, I think it's too late. Like the one way you could do it with Simpsons is you do another Simpsons movie where they're like adults or whatever,
Yeah.
and you use that to set up a new show.
Yeah.
Like and then you cancel the
Well,
Simpsons
what I
as
would
it is.
do is I would I mean my how I would end The Simpsons, and I've always said this. I think I made a couple of videos about it. But how I would end The Simpsons is basically do the that Days of Future Past episode or whatever where it's the future, and have it be the future and do like it like
You're cutting out real bad.
there we go. Do it where it's like yeah, it cuts to the future, and I think I said like have it where like kill Homer, have Homer die, and have it where they're all around him and make it real sad and weepy, and then just do like a slew of celebrity voice cameos, just like voice cameo after voice cameo after voice cameo. But importantly, have it where it like flashes. I think I said like make it where it's about Bart becoming a teenager, and have it where it's like Bart as an adult, and then yeah, Homer dies, and have Homer dying be like a metaphor or a symbol for The Simpsons finally ending. I think because to me, as much as Bart became the symbol for the symbol for The Simpsons, I think Homer way more symbolizes what people think of when they think The Simpsons. I think they think Homer Simpson more than they do Bart Simpson.
I think they think both.
I don't know. I think to me he's more, and also I think, I mean, sure you could kill Bart, but I think it would mean more if you killed Homer. Like everyone's like dad.
But anyway, that's my second pick, which was actually 4 movies.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I already said